Hello. In earlier videos in this series, I've looked at some of the Wren City Churches restored close to their post-Great Fire state after suffering damage during the Blitz. St Vidast, St Mary le Bow, St Bride's, St Mary at Hill and St Anne and St Agnes. Those in this video will complete the list of churches gutted during the war and subsequently restored. Talking about city ceremony and the Lord Mayor of London in the last video, I mentioned Dick Whittington of pantomime fame. Richard Whittington was a real historical character, a city merchant who served 4 terms as Lord Mayor in the late 14th century and early 15th century. Dick Whittington's own parish church was St Michael Paternoster Royal on College Hill, next door to his house, and which he paid to have rebuilt in 1409. He was buried here, somewhere near the altar, in 1423, alongside his wife Alice. Whittington Garden now occupies the space between St Michael's and Upper Thames Street. Offices and workshops that stood here were damaged in the Blitz, and the land was acquired by the City of London for a public park in 1953. Wren's church is brick, with some Portland stone facing. A squat steeple on top of 2 octagonal stages recessed behind the fretted parapet of a square tower shares some similarity with St Stephen Walbrook and St James Garlick-Hythe. It also has cherubs' heads on the keystones over the entrance and above the round-headed windows, among the signature detail we looked at in part 12 of this series, shared by several of the Wren churches. Much of the interior was destroyed by bombing, but the carved tripartite reredos and the pulpit are original. The stained glass windows at the east end date from the 1960s, when restoration was completed. The Church of St Edmund King and Martyr on Lombard Street was, on the evidence of a drawing in his hand initialed by Wren, designed by Robert Hooke. Once again we found cherub's head keystones over round-headed windows with straight hood moulds. The steeple on an octagonal lantern rising above a slightly stepped forward central bay, again based on the evidence of a surviving drawing, was probably added by Nicholas Hawksmoor. St Edmund's unusual north-south alignment may be due to the constraints of the site. The Great Fire of London stopped just short of St Andrew's Church, Holborn, but the building was in such a poor state of repair, its restoration formed part of Wren's portfolio of work. A 15th century tower was retained and refaced and given decorative corner pinnacles and a balustraded parapet to match the body of the church. Inside, Wren's tunnel-vaulted nave ceiling and groin-vaulted aisles have been faithfully restored. Spandrels between the Corinthian columns, rising from galleries, are decorated with swags and wreaths. The floor is Wren's signature black and white checkerboard. Stained glass in the 2-storey Venetian east window is a modern addition. The royal wardrobe, an accounting department of the royal household, responsible for the arms, clothing and other personal items used by the monarch on official occasions, moved its store from the Tower to a building in Blackfriars during the reign of Edward III. The Church of St Andrew by the Wardrobe in Queen Victoria Street, as its name suggests, was a neighbour. Both buildings were destroyed in the Great Fire. St Andrew's was rebuilt by Wren, but the Wardrobe was relocated. The site's remembered in the name of Wardrobe Place and on a plaque. St Andrew's by the Wardrobe is red brick with stone dressings. A 4-stage tower stands at the southwest angle. Unusually for a Wren church, the bays of the aisle rest on piers rather than classical columns. Of the interior furnishings, only the sword rest survived the Blitz, along with a couple of monuments. The fittings we see today were brought in from elsewhere. The name of St Nicholas Cole Abbey, also in Queen Victoria Street, derives from Cold Harbour, a medieval estate that stretched down to the riverside. Mostly built of stone with some brickwork, It has a balustraded parapet and Wren's signature arched windows with straight hood moulds. The tower is topped with an unusual flared spire. It's like a horn placed on its funnel. Inside there are plaster garlands over the east windows, another familiar Wren device. And finally, St Lawrence Jewry in Gresham Street, close to the Guildhall, restored in the 1950s. 4 Corinthian columns support a pediment on Wren's impressive east facade. At the side, the round-headed windows have straight hood moulds. A west tower has pinnacles in the shape of obelisks. Old Jewry was an area of the city where Jews encouraged to come to England by William the Conqueror settled. Inside, behind a carved and painted reredos, the east windows are crowned with garlands. So far in this series, we've looked at 11 churches badly damaged in the Blitz that were rebuilt after the war. 3 others were not reconstructed: St Mildred in Bread Street, St Swithin in Cannon Street. Both were referenced in Part 5. The third was St Stephen's in Coleman Street, whose parish was combined with St Margaret Lothbury. Next time, I'm going to take a look at one of the key craftsmen who worked closely with Christopher Wren, the master woodcarver and sculptor Grinling Gibbons. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.